This is Stephen Wener of Whissel Realty, and we are here 11:70 a.m. The Answer with our fearless co-host, Mr. Jason Hall, and we are back with Mr. Ryan Seal, and we have Brianne Kennedy. So I just wanted to come back. We're not going to talk too much about healthcare reform. During our break, we were talking about it. There's still a lot of uncertainty there, but one of the things that we wanted to touch on, Ryan brought this up, was with this whole Equifax fiasco, what have you been hearing from your clients?
Yeah, a lot of questions about identity theft, and I think Brianne can probably chime in on this too. So you've got your core benefits of medical, dental, vision, those kind of things, but then there's also a whole suite of additional products like accident insurance, identity theft protection, tuition reimbursement programs, learning and development programs, all these different things tie in. So it's just an add-on for employees, and I think it's really top of mind. And even further to the Equifax, the announcement from Yahoo that every single Yahoo account was breached.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable.
They announced a breach, and then as it goes on, it's more and more. Now you're saying every single one. I haven't even heard that yet, Ryan, right? It was the same thing with Equifax. Well, 120 million were, hit. Now it's 140 and it's 150. The guy was in front of the Senate yesterday getting beat up. I kind of felt for the guy, because he's the guy in charge in his leadership. And they were beating up the Wells Fargo guy, too. I don't know if you guys saw that. That guy is still the president at Wells Fargo. And
after their checking scandal fiasco?
After all their fiascos. They've done a lot. He's
still the president?
He's still the president. They fired the Wells Fargo mortgage president who'd been there 30 years, and they haven't disclosed why. Mm-hmm. I think they've been giving away money, and they're losing money in every loan, so I think they finally realized that and went, oops, who allowed this? You're fired by. But now he's trying to keep his job, and our congresswoman was saying, or not ours, but some of the congresswomen were saying, there's no reason you should be working. This many things have happened under your leadership. It all starts with leadership, and they're like, you should be fired. But it's crazy, man. But it's glad to have you guys in, because the thing that we all do is we all help people, right?
Yeah.
So
help me, help you.
Right?
It's not meant to be scary, but it's almost Halloween.
It's almost Halloween, right? But we're all here to help people. So if you're listening as a person of faith, God probably has you on the station right now listening to probably connect with one of the four of us. We've got some great people here today. Want to make certain you can always go to whisselwednesdays.com to find past episodes, or we have a Facebook. You can always text Kyle Whissel 619-663-7355. Get any information. We're sponsored by Craig Sewing of Ignite Media. Craig, as you know, is the host for many, many years right here during this hour, and we now fill his shoes. And Craig, we try our best. And I don't have quite as big shoes. I'm 6 foot and I'm the shortest guy usually when we do pictures. Craig's like 6'4", Kyle's like 6'3", and 6 foot's at least average, if not above average height. I'm the short guy, right? But it's good to have you guys in. So as we go around, finish up the last segment, what's going on with real estate, Steve? What do we need to know about San Diego real estate?
Well, we're still in a crazy market. It's interesting. There is a little bit of a lull I found after back to school happened. So you're also starting to watch high-end, the top-end properties in neighborhoods not sell as quickly anymore. So people have been pushing price points now for well over 3 years, and you've just been watching this massive growth. But now I'm watching the top end top out.
So that's good to know. So if you're looking to buy like $1 million plus home, it sounds like that'd be probably my guess what you're kind of referring to. If it's over $1 million, you haven't found that home, this might be the time. And Steve at Whissel Realty is probably the agent to help you. Definitely on North Coastal, there's nobody I know better. He knows this inside and out. He knows the properties that are coming up there. He knows the deals. And if you're saying it's, that's it, that's probably the time, right? Like the house that might have gone for $1.1 million a few months ago, you might actually get for $1.05 million.
San Elio Hills is a perfect example.
Okay.
Yeah, those price points started to push over $1 million, and now there's like massive resistance for those properties that were just sizzling.
I helped finance a lot of those when they were brand new back in the late 90s. So early 2000s even. I mean, when that stuff very started, I didn't even know where it was. One of my clients who, actually was a
lot of dirt.
Yeah, he was a state assemblyman here in San Diego, and he's like, Jason, San Elio Hills, I'm going to buy. Man, this is great. And I'm like, what? Where?
Right.
I had no idea back then.
Yeah.
And he's done extremely well on his property, so I think he bought it for like $390. It's like a 4,000 square foot place.
Yeah.
Doing okay.
They did all right. So the 4, 5, 6, 700,000 range is still just moving along really well. But if you're at the top of any area right now, I'm finding price resistance.
Okay.
And if you want to just also share what's going on in the mortgage market, because bond rate went up a little bit in the past couple of weeks, but rates
Yeah.
haven't moved that much.
They haven't moved a lot, but there's still a lot of uncertainty, not only in the United States but worldwide, and that kind of puts some movement or caps and resistance. As you were talking about resistance on prices, we see resistance on mortgage rates, right? Like, we all want rates at 3%, but we want a 10% rate return on our investment. Well, that's not going to happen, right? Historically, if stocks are flying like they have been, you're going to see rates kind of follow that path. If you see stock markets start getting beat up, that tends to go to the bond and mortgage market and actually drives rates down. So right now we're seeing rates still, high 3s, low 4s. Still a good time to refinance, purchase, look at your options. A lot of people have mortgage insurance where they bought their house a year or two ago with less than 20% down. And, I'm telling them this is the best time. They're like, well, that's the same rate. I'm like, yeah, it's the same rate without mortgage insurance.
Right.
So you're saving like, $300 a month on this $500,000 house. It may make sense, especially if you're going to keep the home. So something to think about on that end. And there's lots of down payment assistance programs out there for those that qualify.
Sure.
So if you're a person who, makes a certain income level and, you qualify within that income level and still have enough income to actually purchase something in San Diego, we do have a down payment assistance program for those that make under $100,000. If you make over $100,000, you got to save your own money, Steve. Okay. That's just be simple. If someone's promising you something and you make plenty of money, it's probably a catch on that. And then to our veterans, we always pay all of your closing costs, including your appraisal. So that's something we do for our vets. If you're active or served, you serve for us. We love to serve you when you're looking to buy a house. So that's my quick tips on that.
I'll just give a quick, brief overview of what the market is doing, just statistically, and then I really want to touch back with Ryan and Brianne about some of the things that you guys have talked about from cross-collaboration, how your companies benefit from each other as well. And again, our average price point in San Diego is about 620,000. Average days on market.
That's crazy.
I know. Is less than 30 days, and there's roughly 2 months of inventory. So not one more for sale sign went up. We're out. So it's still a really, really tight market for sellers putting their properties on the market. If it's done right, expect to just have multiple offers if you have the right agent. And if you're a buyer, you really need somebody who can help you write an offer that's going to win, because a lot of people don't know how to write those offers to win. So that's where we come in.
Yeah, it's how to write it.
Yep.
It's how to network, and the connections that you guys have with the Whissel team makes the difference on the buy side. It does on the listing side, but that's what I've talked to people like, this is my 10th offer. Why are they not accepting my offer? Right. And I'm like, well, do you know the lender you work with? Nobody likes that lender. And that agent, we Googled your agent and nobody could find anything on that agent.
Exactly.
Right? So you want to work with somebody that's known, and you want to work with a lending team that actually agents want to be like, yeah, I've worked with them. I enjoy them. Right? And that doesn't happen. So be careful who you choose.
Absolutely.
So like Kyle says, who represents you matters.
Correct. And now back to our fearless guests, right? So I know we were talking about some different scenarios about cross-collaborating, or how you help CPC, how you guys have just really benefited from Ryan's knowledge and everything that comes with Champion Insurance. But, if you guys can also just talk about some of the things that our listeners should know, because one of the things that I don't know is how big your scope of services are, right? It's not just insurance. You guys do so much. So I'd love, in our closing moments over here, if you guys can just talk about a few things that our listeners would truly benefit from.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that comes to mind after, we started the conversation today was just how do you support your employees for small businesses here in San Diego through times of crisis. And one of the unique things that came up when Ryan and I had originally designed some of CPC's benefits was trying to find an employer assistance program. These are programs that are bundled into things like long-term disability insurance or life insurance, where it provides free counseling for employees.
Wow.
So if you're a small business and you may not have the resources to provide guidance or care during that time, it's a great option to have bundled into your different insurances to be able to provide that service to your employees. So that's one of the things that had come up when Ryan and I had designed that initially. But he can definitely speak to more of those unique types of offerings that he is, aware of as he's trying to design benefits for a company.
But before Brian, sorry, Brian.
Come on.
It's Ryan. Before Ryan touches on that, it's something that it sounds like you cherish something like that, because it's incredible. And where do you normally hear things like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really care about our employees. We really want them to take all of their welfare into consideration. So their career path in the office, sure, but also how they're doing outside of the office. And this was one of the things that was important for us to be able to provide in times like these where, they may need that additional resource.
I think that's excellent.
Yeah, and I think it's important. So going to Brianne's point, the idea of wellness has really shifted from eating better, exercising more, to mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, community involvement wellness, financial wellness. So I just encourage anyone listening, if you have other vendors, you have service providers like me, you have a 401k provider, make sure that they're providing education to your employees and make sure that they are walking people through processes as life events happen or as different milestones are hit at the company or within personal life. Make sure you lean on your consultants, lean on your vendors, have them help you and educate you because, me, I am pretty well networked here in San Diego, so I can come to the table with things like, we talked about tax credits. We talked about all these different ideas, some of the workers' comp and property and casualty things. It's not just benefits. So it's important to lean on your vendors and your consultants and ask questions. And even if they're not a vendor, if they're not someone that you've hired, but you know them and you like them and trust them, call and ask questions and they can guide you in the right way and maybe give your current vendor some ideas that they can implement for you.
And I think for our listeners, again, what we're getting out of our guests today is just a small portion of what they can really explore with you. So before we conclude the show, which we're about to wrap up, please just share your information with our listeners again, because I think both of what you offer is incredible.
Yeah, so for CPC Strategy, retailers who are interested in exploring some of our advertising services, they can reach out at cpcstrategy.com to schedule a consultation. And for employees who are looking for a career change, cpcstrategy.com/careers.
Our seals at championrisk.net. Any company that is either looking to start offering benefits, wants to take a more strategic approach to their employee benefits plan, individuals who have high net worth homes, property collections, anything like that, and anyone who needs help with commercial insurance or workers' compensation.
Hey, Steve, we can't end the show without San Diego State Aztecs 5-0. They're going to UNLV this weekend.
Bam!
One city, one team. We're out. Thank you for listening to Whissel Wednesday on AM 1170, The Answer.
That's a wrap.
Can you blow